And to be able to really do the real prioritization, what you need to do is understand the impact. If this vulnerability would be exploited, what will happen? And to be able to predict that impact, or to predict the likelihood of a vulnerability to actually being exploited, you need to understand the general context the vulnerability lies in. So when I say context, what do I mean? For example, could any data be exfiltrated from because of the vulnerability? Will customers be affected? Will there be an outage? Stuff like that. And we've taken that approach. We've taken the context approach for the prioritization. And how do we do that? We are utilizing the fact that we have access to your code environment and to your cloud environment. And essentially, we're building graphs. We're building connections between your resources. So a repository deploying a cloud resource, let's say a Lambda that is maybe connected to an API. And through this graph, we could understand where the vulnerability really lies. It doesn't really impose any risk, because if something is, like in this example, in a repository vulnerability that is connected to an API, it's externally accessible, or maybe it's connected to a production environment, or maybe it's connected to a business critical application. And that's what we do. We build these graphs, so we'll be able to give the full context, the entire context for vulnerability. And that is how we prioritize, or how we help our users prioritize. And I'll just say one more thing. It's not only that we surface this to the security folks, we also surface it to the developers. Given everything that we talked about, while you're developing, if you've done something that could impose risk, we'll also give the context of why it's important and why it imposes risk, because it's connected to a production environment, for example. So it's something that we really put a lot of emphasis on.